I read a little birdie named Garcelle said, not all skin folk are kinfolk. What do you think she meant by that?
I don't know, because like I do not watch that show. I don't know, but of course, people like bombarded me with messages telling me about it, and so I don't know. I don't know if she was talking about me or if she was talking about the other new girl. I really don't know. But, what I can say though is, I have some friends that are, like the A-list Black Hollywood crew, and
period.
I mean, I know.
Wait that up. I because you ate that.
No, but like I don't even
humble.
mean to. I don't mean to. I married an NFL player. I have these circles of people. Like he's from LA. Like I've been around people. Like I've been around rich people and famous people. Whatever. It is what it is. But so when I started filming for the show, they warned me. They really said like, just watch your back, because there was an era in, Black Hollywood or whatever you want to call it, where there could only be one. Mm-hmm. And she's from that era. Oh. So they are competitive with each other, because they're like, if I'm going to be the one to shine, so you can't shine. So they're always going to be very competitive with each other. So I kind of, knew that going into it. And then, I look at the situation now, and I just feel really bad for her. Like I do. I pity her. I do. No shade.
No shade. Just tea.
No shade.
No shade. Just tea.
I really feel bad for her, because, this is somebody who, was a legit Hollywood actress, right? Doing, legit Hollywood things. And then she said, when we were filming our reunion last year, they aired it, but she said, she couldn't get a role anymore, and so she had to do something to support herself, and so she had to take this, and she's not happy doing it, and she's got to fight with ladies all day. Like, that's got to be a really big piece of like humble pie to swallow. And somebody of her age maturity,
a woman of a particular age,
thank you so much. Like, I would wish that she could get past bitterness and just find happiness. Yeah. Find some joy. You know what I mean? Because like, I'm going to protect my joy. I'm going to protect my peace. And goodness, when I'm of that maturity, I hope that's not what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, right. I hope that she finds peace and joy and doesn't have to just live in bitterness.
You are so sweet and kind in the way you explain this, because I would have been talking a little mess. I would have been like, girl, you fell off out of Hollywood and then you had to resort to being a housewife. Meanwhile, you, Miss Annemarie Wiley, you were requested to be on the show while you were minding your business, enjoying your time with your husband in your nice home with your beautiful kids. Not everybody has that happy household like you do. Next.
I was just trying to have fun. I was just trying to have a good time.
And clearly you did, because you're still a topic of discussion from what I've been told, because I refuse to watch, certain TV shows. Mm-hmm. And you are still a topic of discussion on certain TV shows.
Apparently.
And I feel like that really does show that they needed you more than you needed them, especially when it comes to your joy. And I also find it really funny how they try to replace you with another Black woman who Garcelle seems to also take issue with. And I just find that funny.
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to what we just talked about. Mm-hmm. Like, she is from an era where there could only be one, and she's very competitive and unkind to the other Black women. And, she's always like the race card. The race card has to stop. The race card really has to stop. And I'm going to tell you why. Because we know how damaging it is to the broader community when you are always playing the race card where it is not applicable. Because does racism still exist in our country? I truly believe it does. But I feel like when you're constantly blaming everything on race, you are really watering down the scenarios when it actually does happen, so that when they do happen, no one believes it anymore.
Right.
No one believes it anymore. So when you're constantly throwing that out as your only, storyline, for lack of a better word, like it's really an unfortunate thing to do. And it's very, very damaging, I think, to the community. Mm-hmm. So, and, it's funny that you brought up the other woman too. I'm going to get a little bit messy just for 2 seconds here.
Oh, we love that here.
But just for 2 seconds.
Not
too messy. Respectfully. Just a tiny bit messy. But it's so funny because when I went to New York last year, and I was doing my press run, and I went to drinks with Carrie Champion, who, you know, she used to do ESPN with my husband. I've known her for such a very long time, right? And she used to work with my husband at ESPN. And I guess she saw that I was in town. She was in New York too. Like, let's go get drinks. Never had drinks with her separately in my life, but very persistent. Let's go have drinks. So we go to drinks at like 1 o'clock in the morning, something really, really late. And the entire time we're having drinks, she is just asking me about very specific questions. Let's just say that. Very specific questions. And I'm like, oh, this feels like an interview. Anyway. And then, 2 months later, I'm fired from the show, and her best friend is now on the show.
Oh.
Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? So I'm like, funny how she was probably interviewing me with all those very specific questions so that she could feed that information to her best friend that is, I guess, taking my spot on the show, so she would know how to play her cards right. Wow. Interesting, huh?
You really have to watch your back in every
direction. You really
direction.
have to watch your back. Yeah, you really have to watch your back.
These networks.
Yeah, wild. I know, wild. And I am just thinking like, big sis looking out for me. How you doing? Blah, 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 blah. No, she's like interviewing for, and I mean, and good for the other lady. Like I hope she had a great season. Again, I don't watch it. I don't know much about like what's happening, but you know what? I hope she had a wonderful season. If she did, I'm sure it's because, her friend told her that Dorit is wonderful and go be friends with Dorit. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. You got to watch your back in this industry.